Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. It's a new week. We're very happy to welcome you to our show titled Speak of Africa. We have a lot of news for you today. For the news of today, we're asking a question. The African diaspora is very big. We have over 250 million Africans living in the diaspora. This is a very powerful force. It can be a force for good if we choose to make it so. But we are making this video because we want to draw the attention of our brothers to the power of unity. The African diaspora is very big, but it's not as organized as the Jewish diaspora. So organization is what can take us to the next level. Because if we in the diaspora were organized, then it will be easy to bring about the kind of change we need in the motherland. Look at what is happening in Israel today. The Jewish diaspora dictates the politics of Israel. Similarly, we need to be in a position to dictate the politics of Africa. And that's what the video of today is about. For the video of today, we see migrations. We've been talking about migrations on this show very frequently. Now that a lot of us are in the diaspora, we need to come together to become a force. We need to have an umbrella organization that can make things happen. So we speak with one voice. Even in American politics, we need to have an African organization, just like the way the African Americans have NAACP, okay? The Urban League. We need to have an umbrella organization that caters to the interests of Africans, especially those of us who believe in one Africa, Pan-Africanism. This can only be because we have to have the Africa's diaspora to fight against the boogeyman and the barbarians running banana republics in Africa. That's what the video of today is about. And when you look at every African country, the guy who is ruling the country is a boogeyman. You know, in America, when they call a boogeyman, you know who the guy is? It's just like a masquerade that just frightens people. That's a boogeyman. And most of these guys in Africa, they call themselves presidents. They are boogeymen because they use Machiavellian strategies to bully their people, kill them into submission. Then I also look at these presidents as barbarians. A barbarian is somebody who is uncouth, somebody who is not civilized. He still uses anachronistic methods to accomplish his objectives. In The Origin of Species, Charles Darwin talks about the survival of the fittest, the way the law of the jungle obtains. Only the strong survive. The lions eat the other animals. So when you see what is happening in Africa today, it reminds us of survival of the fittest, of Charles Darwin's Origin of the Species. This book was written a long time ago, but it really sheds light on the way things are happening in Mother Africa. So our call is, we want the African diaspora to rise and take on these barbarians. We want the African diaspora to rise and take on these boogeymen, okay? The boogeymen running banana republics in Africa. So we need to do that. So that's the stage that we're setting for the news of today. And when we talk about Nigeria, the number one boogeyman is Bola Tinubu. He calls himself a president. This week, when we look at the news in Nigeria, Bola Tinubu is saying that he became president because he wanted to help the average Nigerian. This week, we saw him meeting with a lot of politicians saying that he became president not because of his personal interests, but because of the interests of the average Nigerian. Yet, your average Nigerian doesn't think so. Your average Nigerian thinks Bola Tinubu became president because he wants to fill his pocket with more money. That's what is happening. Then you look at some of the election rigging that is taking place in Edo State. This week, friends are sharing this information with us. What is Bola Tinubu doing? Is he doing this to help your average Nigerian, or is he doing this to satisfy his own political passion? He's doing this to satisfy his political passion, not to help the average Nigerian. Since Bola Tinubu became president, things have gotten worse for your average Nigerian economically. The Naira is weak. He took away the fuel subsidy. Then there's a lot of corruption. The APC, you look at like what is happening now with the gubernatorial election in Edo. The APC is playing games. They're using money to buy votes, to buy other politicians. Why are they doing this? Because the president wants to serve his personal interests. If he wanted to serve the interests of the average Nigerian, he will not be doing all this nonsense. He'll be doing things differently. So when we see all over the news today, the major story is Bola Tinubu is doing things to help your average Nigerian. He doesn't want to do things to help himself. Come on, who is Bola Tinubu fooling? Himself, not your average Nigerian who is suffering. And besides, when we look at what is happening, this is another testament of bad governance. So should it surprise you then when a coup d'etat takes place in Nigeria? Should it surprise you then why there's a lot of insecurity in Nigeria? The Jewish groups this week are really telling Bola Tinubu, you need to tone things down. You have a lot of insecurity, okay? Then you also have a lot of minorities that are complaining. You take the example of the people of Biafra. You have two groups, the IBOB and the Mossab. The IBOB stands for the indigenous people of Biafra. Then the Mossab stands for the movement of sovereign state of Biafra. Okay? So those two are really jockeying for power. Nnamdi Kanu has really been the leader of IBOB, and he's been in jail for a long time. A lot of people are telling Bola Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, because if Nnamdi Kanu can be released, things would be toned down a little bit. And of course, the guy is getting older and is getting sick. And we understand his family saw him for the first time since he was really incarcerated. But people are thinking that if his condition deteriorates or he dies in jail, it's going to create even more tension in Nigeria. They are telling Bola Tinubu, look for ways to legally release Nnamdi Kanu. And we think it will be a good gesture. When you listen to Nnamdi Kanu speak, he's not a radical like Simon Ekpa, the other guy who is from, Finland? Sometimes people are saying that, okay, IBOB guys have been killing Nigerian soldiers. But IBOB is saying that no, they're not responsible for it. They don't take responsibility. Simon Ekpa is kind of like radical, but he looks like he has a lot of people who are following him. He's in Finland, from what we understand, but he's making his presence felt. So this week, people have been talking a lot about Simon Ekpa. We knew about him because some of our producers did some research and started talking about him. That brought him to our attention. So it's really creating a lot of issues in Nigeria. So the folks video, we talk about your issue. Then we're going to really do a whole show on the Biafra self-determination. We're going to take you from the history of Biafra, take you to the bite of Biafra to present day. We want to put everything in perspective to show you what has happened to the aspirations of these people. We want to talk about Ojukwu and all the politics that happened during those times. Next, we take you to La République du Cameroun. Well, this week we've realized that La République du Cameroun is a country that is running almost like on autopilot. Some people ask me, Prince Ojong, how come Paul Biya can stay in Switzerland for 3 months and Cameroon is running like there's no tomorrow? You know why? Because the apparatus of state in that country, the machine is run by the French. So you have French officers, they run the machine in that country. Then the Jewish guys run the security apparatus. Okay? So Biya can even be in Hotel Intercontinental for even 1 month. He can dictate his decrees from there. He doesn't need to be in the country. He's a ghost president, so he can run things very well. He just needs to tell Atanganji, do this. Oh, the people in the north are having problems. Or take some millions, go and solve their problem. Make sure you supervise it, okay? Say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those are les hautes instructions. So that's how Paul Biya runs the country. He has run the country this way for so long. He's a good student of Mitterrand. He himself said it. So he doesn't really need to be in the country. He doesn't care about the country. He cares about himself. And that's why Cameroon is falling apart. Cameroon is falling apart. In the north, you have problems. Then, of course, you have the intractable Anglophone problem. So this week, Paul Biya has been sending his lackeys, especially from the presidential secretariat. They have done a movie, I call it a Biya show, where they want to present Biya as a great statesman. Who are they fooling? Biya is not a great statesman, but some people think he is. And the CPDM propaganda has produced this movie that they wanted to start showing in Ambazonia. In fact, the capital of Ambazonia, Buya, that's where they decided to roll out the premiere of this Biya show. People will come and see how great a person Biya is. But so many of you watch this show, you saw what happened, you reported to me, so I know what really happened in Buya. In fact, I even have some audios. I've not shared all of the audios. I'll just share one audio with you that I will receive from one of you who sent it to us. Listen to the audio. The audio is talking about the way the propaganda machine of CPDM has made it to project this movie. They went and arrested a lot of young people. They accused them of terrorism. Then they took them to a stadium to be the audience to watch this Biya show. But when they watched this Biya show, it did not really leave them enthused because the show was not well done. The documentary was poorly handled. The history was not genuine. So the documentary leaves a lot to be desired. But we saw a video which some of you sent to us, and even the audio. Listen to the audio for a few minutes. You'll see what the audio is saying about this Biya show. The guy sent it to us. We'll just call him JJ. Listen to the audio that JJ sent to us from Ambazonia.
This morning, they have to do what that they have to project a film on Paul Biya at the Morocco Stadium here in Buya. So the point is that the whole Buya city is militarized. Yesterday, so many armored cars entered the city. So many. And I sent you, first of all, sent you an audio that is circulating that the different person did concerning the Kale that they have been doing. So they started this Kale several days ago, which means probably those will be their spectators at the Morocco Stadium to watch the event or to beautify the place, for them to have audience, to show the audience that the Buya people are watching. So the point is that at the Legion of Gendarmerie here in Buya, all these days you see about hundreds of persons, more than 300 to 400, who are struggling to see their loved ones that have been locked up at the Gendarmerie. So it's very pathetic. So that Gendarmerie Legion is already full completely. They've been transferring the newly arrested ones at the other small Gendarmerie post around a great support. So that's what is happening right now. So they are forcing, they have made a film for Paul Biya that he's a statesman, he's a good man, he's a successful president, and so on. Then they come to force us to watch this film. So I don't know if it's a must that we must watch it, or they must start betting this in Ambazonia. So that's that.
Thank you for listening to JJ's video. So you see now that what is happening in Ambazonia, every day more and more people are dying. People are dying on the Ambazonia side, people are dying on the Biya Cameroon side. So it's like brother is killing brother, sister is killing sister. Who is gaining? The people are the one bearing the brunt of this war. Yet, Paul Biya does not want to come to his senses to sue for peace. That's the problem. Yet, some people still say Biya is the best thing that has ever happened to Cameroon. So we have a journalist who is the biggest sycophant I've ever seen in my life. Interestingly, I found out that this sycophant comes from my part of the world. He speaks the same language with me, Ijagam. I hear his name is Ashu Nyenti. That's the name of the journalist of CRTV. Watch what he says about Biya for a minute.
Of the leader of this country, President Paul Biya.
Ashu Nyenti, from what you say and in your point of view, from what I gather, President Paul Biya is somebody Cameroonians can rely on to make things happen.
Moki, I tell you what, President Paul Biya is a blessing to this country. Cameroonians, we are lucky. We are made because we have Paul Biya, the helm of the statecraft. This president is our greatest marksman. He is our principal goal scorer. He has always taken us out of very difficult situations. First, because of his immense wisdom. Second, because of his aura and international clout. Those who meet President Paul Biya for the first time are out and bow in reverence, in respect for his profound knowledge and civility. The president of FIFA visited President Paul Biya today. You needed to have seen the pleasure of Gianni Infantino meeting President Paul Biya. I was at the Unity Palace. I saw things for myself, Moki. The president of FIFA gave President Biya a jersey as a memorabilia, as a symbolic transfer of President Paul Biya to the World FIFA football team. On that jersey was written number 9. And then Infantino insisted, this is not Messi, this is Biya. Do you know why he said that? Because Messi is considered as the greatest football player on earth. But Paul Biya is in a class of his own. He is one notch higher. He is without comparison. How many heads of state have that privilege? When you have a head of state with such stature, with such candor, such pedigree, and with such subtlety, what else can you be asking for, Moki? It is like you are in a ship facing a tempest tossed, and you get up and remember the name and the track record of the captain, and you go back to sleep, knowing that whatever happens, the captain will rudder the ship to safer shores. That is the case of Cameroon with President Paul Biya. Fellow citizens, do not be weary. The ship of Cameroon is in safe hands. Have confidence in the captain. His name is Paul Biya.
The Chief Unity Palace correspondent, Ashu Nyenti.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Wow. I see. There's a lot that we've uncovered about this journalist. He's well educated, but now he's using his education for the service of a dictator. What is going to happen in a few months when Biya kicks the bucket? People were asking me, Prince Ojong, when Ashu Nyenti listens to himself talk in this video, how does he feel? What comes to his mind? If his children watch this video much later, what is he going to think about himself? That my father was a prostitute? Or he came from a mother who was a prostitute, as the Nyasoso kids were saying? We don't know. Because we just understand that he's a former graduate of Nyasoso. Some of the students told us this about him. Yeah, but it tells you that serious journalists like Wazizi, they are killed for doing their job. But somebody like Ashu Nyenti, he praise sings the name of Biya. Is this journalism? This is hero worship. How can Cameroon evolve? How can Cameroon develop when you have such hero worship journalists making noise, telling people lies? Because that's what obtains in La Republique of Cameroon. So you have the boogeyman who can hire people like Ashu Nyenti to tell lies to the people and deceive the international community. Unfortunately for them, you have a news platform like Speak of Africa. We're going to be telling you the truth about what is happening in that part of the world. Okay? So next, we leave the Ashu Nyenti video. If you want to watch it a little bit and see what is happening in CRTV. In fact, some journalists who had worked for CRTV called me and said, Prince Ojong, when we watch this guy on CRTV, we feel terrible because during our days in CRTV, we could not do this kind of job. So it's a shame Ashunyenti is doing this kind of work. But he has to make a living. So please leave the guy alone. Ashunyenti Erena Nkubwa. Next, we'll take you to Burkina Faso.
Welcome to a Ayuk Tax Service. We are tax professionals at your service. Our services include tax returns, payroll, bookkeeping, business planning. We provide professional service, years of experience, and are proud to serve your business. Get your maximum tax refund with 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. Contact us at 240-350-1131. Fax 240-556-0535 or email service@ayuktaxservice.com. Our hours of operation are weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit us online at www.ayuktaxservice.com.
Burkina Faso has a new junta that came to power through a coup d'etat. It's like a coup comes after another coup. They made a coup to correct the former coup. But things are not easy. A lot of these jihadists are striking people, and the junta is struggling to secure the country. It's not easy. They are trying, they are doing their best. Some people will say we're not giving them credit. We're giving them credit. They are doing their best, but we think a military solution is not tenable. And we'll continue saying it. We need to sit down and look for a more strategic approach to deal with this problem. What about Congo DRC? You have the boogeyman in Congo DRC, and you have the barbarian in Congo DRC. And who is this? The guy today is Felix Tshisekedi. Okay? Like father, like son. Etienne took bribes from Mobutu. He will pretend as if he's the opposition. But was he really the opposition? Not really. But when we look at all of this happening in Congo DRC, it reminds us of the tragedy of Patrice Lumumba, our national hero. Okay? Next, we'll take you to Gabon. In Gabon, Ali Bongo came out pleading for reconciliation, for forgiveness. But the people of Gabon are telling me, Prince Ojong, Ali Bongo wants Brice Oligui Nguema to release his wife and his son, his wife Sylvia and his son Noureddin. What about all the political prisoners Ali Bongo put in jail? Is he not thinking about those people? So he's only thinking about his wife and his son. Are those the only people who are important in Gabon? A lot of people who should not have been jailed, they were jailed for political reasons. What's Ali Bongo going to do about all these people? So you see the way life is? They say all the world is a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their entrances and their exits, and one man in his time plays many parts. That's what is happening to Ali Bongo. They've stolen the money of the country, like his father. He was a boogeyman. He was a barbarian. They stole the money of the people, killed the people when they tried to talk. As Nikom Baga used to say, this world is a wonderful place. Nobody knows tomorrow. You cannot predict the future. So it's always good to be nice to people. Mali, we have a lot of jihadist activity continuing. They have sent away French forces, but the new junta is facing a lot of challenges to keep the jihadists at bay. Sometimes the jihadists penetrate, kill a lot of people, as it happened this week, and we have to just sympathize with a lot of the families that have lost loved ones. What about Niger? Niger is in the same boat with Burkina Faso and Mali. Abdurrahman Tiani is using the propaganda of sovereignty and anti-French feeling to rule. But how can he sustain that momentum? That's the question we're asking.
Tired of waiting in long lines at the emergency room or your doctor's office? You should be. Why wait in long lines for care? It's time for you to come to Lucille Urgent Care. Real care, no waiting. Lucille Urgent Care, the best place for true and loving care. Service at Lucille Urgent Care is convenient, fast, time efficient, affordable, accessible, transparent, and cost effective. Real treatment is your right. Indeed, it's not just a privilege or pejorative. Skip the emergency room's long lines, kiss the ER goodbye, say farewell to your old doctor's office, pay less, save time, enjoy the excitement of convenience, receive immediate treatment, get the healthcare you need quickly and affordably. Lucille Urgent Care offers many express services: rapid COVID-19 testing, on-site prescription, preventative lab services, imaging and x-rays, urgent medical treatment for common illnesses and injuries, routine vaccines and flu shots, work-related injury services, pre-employment, occupational, annual, and sports physicals, immigration exams, and much more. Same-day treatment, rapid lab results, extended hours, weekend hours, no appointment necessary, no insurance necessary, no doctor necessary, walk-ins accepted, telemedicine available. We are open 7 days a week with evening and weekend hours. We are located in Maryland. Lucille Urgent Care, 903 Half York Road, Towson, Maryland, 21204. Website, lucilleuc.com. Call at 443-275-1286 or 301-593-4897.
What about Sudan? Well, in Sudan, we're seeing that the war goes on. The two generals have torn their country apart, yet they are not happy to sue for peace. As a result, a lot of people are trekking north to Europe in search of greener pastures. And when you look at the French media and a lot of the African media, you see the struggles of people who are leaving Sudan, traveling north to get to Europe. Okay? So that's very, very sad. Then we end our show in Uganda. In Uganda, you have the story of like father, like son. Muhuzi, the general, wants to succeed his father. But it looks like his father is not ready to leave the political scene. Yoweri Museveni is turning almost 80, yet he wants to rule until he dies. So his son was thinking that he can prepare now and take over from his father, but his father doesn't want to give up power right now. So his son now is changing his tune. Oh, I can wait. I can wait. If my father wants to be president again, I can wait until he's ready to die. Isn't this a shame? Africa's diaspora, you guys need to do something. Start thinking like the Jewish people. We are Africans. We are not dumb. We are as smart as Jewish people are. We need to start thinking of our destiny as one people. We need to have one parliament. We need to have one army. We need to have one economy. That can happen if the Africans who are in the diaspora can start exerting pressure on these barbarians and boogeymen who are running Africa. They call themselves presidents. I call them barbarians and boogeymen. I call them barbarians because they are uncouth. They use anachronistic methods to rule the country. Boogeymen, they use terror and fear. So that's a boogeyman. And that's why I call a lot of the African presidents boogeymen and barbarians. But it is the diaspora, the Africa diaspora. You guys have to begin to do something. Otherwise, there's going to be a second scramble for Africa. And that's what we need to avoid. You saw what happened after the Berlin conference, the way Africa was partitioned, and Africa is suffering up to today. A second scramble for Africa is taking place. So Africa's diaspora, are you just going to sit and watch, or are you going to do something about it? We think you should do something about it, and we can engage you in this conversation next time. So you can use my number on WhatsApp to communicate with me, 301-760-0335. Bye-bye.
you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.